um, your teeth actually might expose either your root or your gums more from the whitening toothpaste, and it actually does more damage to your tooth than actually helping it. Of course, I bought it because in the morning I like to eat stuff or drink coffee, and sometimes it leaves a stain on your teeth. Coffee does, or
Oh my God.
stuff like that. So I want to get whitening toothpaste, and come to find out, because of how sensitive my teeth are, I can't do that anymore. So I have to just use any toothpaste that's just not that doesn't have whitening in it. So Sensodyne is a
Jesus Christ.
toothpaste. If anybody's wondering what you could use for that.
live and online. It's Sleepless with Steve and the Movie Book Club with your host, Steve Pulaski.
Back and better than ever. Welcome to the mukbang stream here on Sleepless with Steve. As you can tell, Dom
What's
is
happening?
having.
Are we live? Oh shit!
Dom and I are eating our dinners right now. We're changing the format of Sleepless with Steve. We put the Five Nights at Freddy's review by making it into a gaming stream. Now we're making it into a mukbang stream. You're gonna watch us eat for the next hour. Maybe we'll talk about Red One. I don't know.
This is more entertaining. This is more entertaining right now than Red One. I'll tell you that much.
Oh shit! Don't give it everything away. Anyways, welcome to Sleepless with Steve. As you can tell, Steve is not here this week. He was on vacation and unfortunately did not have the time to go and see Red One to be with us here tonight. Totally understandable. Dom and I have had nights like that, or just weekends like that, where it's like time just slips on by. Hell, get used to not seeing me the first Wednesday of every month. And, you know, other reasons as well. You might see me on a Wednesday, but totally understandable. We miss you, Steve. Can't wait to have you back. You won't be having... Damn, we won't have a full show of Sleepless with Steve for a while, because next week we'll be off for Thanksgiving. The following Wednesday is the first Wednesday of the month, so I won't be here. So it's not until the second week of December that the full crew of the show will actually be back on air together. And who knows what will happen between that time. Maybe World War III. I don't know.
World War IV.
War. Yeah, they might just skip it, man. They might just go the extreme.
No. No. It's just, they're just going to reboot it. World War.
Oh, man. Can you imagine that? They just, the world comes together just to agree. Yeah, you know what? 3 would just make it too confusing on how much stuff you have to catch on up to get to this point. We're just going to rebrand it. World War. And then you'll get the next reboot, War. Where they take, or the World War. There we go. Because you always have a the reboot at some point. Anyways, welcome to the show. We have no news topic tonight as well, as you can see by the bottom scroll. We're just talking about Red One tonight. There really wasn't any pressing news. Thankfully, no one died. Like last week with the unfortunate passing of Tony Todd. But there wasn't anything ground really happening. I know a lot of people probably were talking about the Red One box office, but like everybody was talking about it even before this movie came out. Back when The Rock was getting getting shit for peeing in bottles and everything and being late on set, they were already projecting for this movie to be sort of a bomb. So it's really no surprise that this thing
one of the most expensive Christmas movies ever made, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
and it looks like it too.
It does in some ways. In some ways, I'm like, that's really what you guys had up your sleeve in terms of CG. But you know, we'll save that all for the review. But in the meantime, so I can get a few bites in. Dom, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It is the Christmas season. Hopefully, there we go. We can catch up on some things. Each of us individually, but me in particular, I've been so busy at work. I've been told that I smell because I've been working outside so much. So that sounds right. So yeah, I just want to catch my breath and see my friends and do fun things like this show.
There you go. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, man. There ain't nothing wrong than hitting the pause button sometimes in life. Because trust me, every once in a while you need to. I'm doing all right.
Happy birthday, by the way. Happy freaking birthday, bro.
I was about to say thank you. Yeah, no, I'm doing good. It is my birthday today. And I had people even telling me, "Are you really going to Sleepless like on your birthday?" I said, "Yeah. I mean, why not? I like, you know, I didn't go see this review. I didn't go see this movie for nothing. Damn it! All right?
I was just gonna say, I was like, maybe I should skip. No, I already saw the goddamn movie. So I saw this movie. Starting at 9:30 p.m. I was the only one in the theater.
What, last night?
Yeah.
Tom, you should have texted me. I would have been like, all right, fuck it, yeah, like we can skip out.
Actually, it was Monday. It was Monday.
Okay.
Still,
I
was like, I'm gonna do it for the review, and I'm like, I should not have done this for the review.
not to get ahead of ourselves again. Um, but I am so glad, like, and this must have been my birthday wish, that the next two movies we're reviewing have really good reviews so far.
What are
It's like
they?
Gladiator and Wicked. So
Gladiator. Okay, yeah,
like
yeah.
I was like I saw, I'm not gonna say what the tomato score is for either of the films. I won't tell you which one's higher, which one's lower.
Sure.
But seeing both of them just made me go, oh, thank God. Like I was just like, after these last few weeks, dude, I need something like this. It's just a back-to-back new Barbenheimer-esque weekend, like where it's like both these movies came out on the same weekend. Both seem like they're very worth going to the theater to go see. But we'll see once we actually go see them. Like, who knows? Might feel differently or anything about that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I a lot of people are asking me, my mom included, was just like, "Are you really gonna do Sleepless tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, I don't mind ever doing this show. This show's a lot of fun to do. The only times I had a problem doing this show is when I was in school because it was just like, hey, like I can spend an hour
Mhm.
talking about movies, especially dude, when we did like our top five list, and I'm just like, shit, I got homework to do, and this is almost a 2 hour show. Those were the nights I was like, yeah, man, I gotta set some time aside and get this shit done. Then I have to make sure I'm ready for sleep. But it's like now with school being done, it's just work. It's like okay, like yeah, there are some nights it's like I really wish I would have this hour, but man, when I start doing this show and I'm talking to you guys, or we're just goofing off, just you and I with Steve not here, like then it's like, nah, this is worth doing in the end. I have so much
It's
fun
like it's like
regardless.
it's like the parents aren't home and Steve's not here. It's like
No, for real, it is that because we've hijacked this show and done stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he did not know about. Like when we just like when he was like, "What movie are you guys reviewing?" And we're like, "Andor season one." He's like, "All right, well, what do you guys do for Five Nights at Freddy's? What news piece do you have?" "Oh, we're gonna play the game."
oh my god, that's right.
So yeah, no, Dom and I, we don't have anything for tonight, unfortunately. We'll try to think of more fun, crazy things to do when it's this dynamic duo. We might have some good news along the way as well when it comes to Sleepless. There might be something else on this screen coming soon that will be on here permanently. And whenever we do go to an intermission, we might actually have to be saying something during that time.
Mhm.
But I will not reveal anything until stuff is finalized with Steve. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, I got nothing else more to add. Dom, you want to say anything? Otherwise, we can get into this review and get the show going.
Let's just get into it, dude.
Let's just get into it. All right. Oh boy.
What are we talking about today?
Well, today, Dom, we're talking about Seven Bucks Productions' newest and biggest movie that they've teamed up with Amazon and MGM to release, Red One, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Captain America himself, Chris Evans. This is, of course, the holiday release coming from Amazon. This is their big holiday release movie. They usually try to have one almost every year. Every streaming platform tries to do one where they have a theatrical. They'll release something theatrically, then it comes to the streaming platform closer to the holiday. Glass Onion was 2 years ago. It was
Hmm.
theatrical during Thanksgiving. By the time it was Christmas, you had it on Netflix. So this is like kind of like their same idea. We'll do a theatrical release for this, push it a little bit longer than like just a 2 week run, and then see where that goes. Now, Dom, what if I were to tell you that Santa Claus in the North Pole has a secret division called ELF, extremely large.
I tell you to go fuck yourself. That's what I tell you.
The extremely large and formidable operatives join forces with the world's most accomplished tracker to help them save Christmas because Santa Claus has been kidnapped. And in order to save Christmas, they have to work with a secret underground organization that has trolls on the internet searching for clues. And
Like
also
literal trolls.
yeah, literal trolls to save the day from an evil witch that wants to get rid of all the people on the naughty list in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of all that, they need to go and find help from Santa Claus's brother, Krampus, in this globe-trotting adventure of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is this one day till retirement field operative, chief of command for this military force, and he has to work with the number. He's a tier 4. He's Year 4 naughty lister, the worst of the worst. Chris Evans, who plays Jack O'Malley. I forgot to say Dwayne Johnson plays Commander Drift or something like that. But he has to work with Jack O'Malley, who literally steals candy from a baby at the start of this movie. And they have to go save Christmas by saving J.K. Simmons, who is Santa Claus in this movie. And so much more ensues. Dom, does that not sound like a recipe for a Christmas classic?
No, this is without a doubt one of the best Christmas tax schemes and money laundering operations I have seen yet. Hats off to Amazon MGM, because this is one of the reddest movies that you will see, both in terms of the profit margins and how it makes many people feel. And it's not love. Yeah, dude, this is. Let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about the positives, right?
Let's talk about the positives.
Yeah, under 3 hours.
Okay,
so
bro, but even then, so like this runtime. I know you say let's talk about this the positives here. This movie's way too long.
It is.
But okay, we'll come back to that in a second because I have a whole rant about that. Look, I can easily start with the positives here. I do see the blueprint for a Christmas classic here. I actually do. The problem is that the fact that, and this has been an underlying issue with The Rock's production company, $7 Production. The Rock himself and his production company are advertiser friendly, which means everything needs to be super safe, super generic, and easy to sell with any brand.
They say the word shit like 4 times.
Oh, no. The Rock doesn't say shit, Dom. The bad guy in the movie says shit. The meanie, the
Lucy
naughty
Liu
lister
says shit.
Okay, Lucy Liu does say shit. But Lucy Liu's a badass, and she did whatever and everything. She's the leader of the CIA of the trolls or whatever it's called. I do see the blueprint for a possible Christmas classic here, because there's moments in this movie sprinkled throughout. I love the modernization of the North Pole in this movie. I know that sounds like a terrible thing to say because it's definitely just the Amazon warehouse on crack. But it was honestly kind of cool. I had never seen the North Pole look that futuristic. It kind of reminded me of a metropolis.
Fucking income tax went up. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Continue. No, I'm joking. That was a bit. I'm sorry.
The North Pole has this metropolis look to it, and I'm like, this is actually kind of sick to look at. I see where the $230 million went regarding this. This is kind of cool, and I kind of dug the idea that I'm always a sucker for this shit. That's why I love Men in Black for this reason. I love a secret organized task force that's hell bent on keeping stuff safe. You know
what? No, sorry. Go ahead.
The headless horseman and all these other mythological creatures and stuff. Actually keeping these things in line. That's why I love Hellboy, stuff like that.
That's why I like SCP. Do you know what I've talked about
SCP?
It a couple times.
SCP is the definition of that. It is that, but horror turned up to the max. While Hellboy and Men in Black have more comedic action adventure elements to them, SCP is the gruesome horror element of
yes,
keeping something contained like that. So I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. And the issue with Red One is because it has to be advertiser friendly, is it doesn't really have an identity, because its identity is all the advertising it's doing in this movie, from the vehicles that they are marketing, from a Lamborghini to trucks, to the toys that they're marketing, to other product placement throughout this movie that fits The Rock's MO and pushes everything that he's known for, being the product guy. You can sell a product through The Rock. It's why he's attached to so many products. He has his own hair and shampoo line. He has his own liquor. He's the commissioner for the Arena Football League. I'm not coming at this man for his business-making decision. He's obviously made himself very wealthy. He's one of the most highest-paid actors in the world. But you can't help but feel that lately his movies are just products, especially this one. And it mainly comes down to he's been playing the same character for years. Shit, I said we're gonna start with the good stuff. I don't even know where the good stuff was going. But he's been mainly playing the same character for years. That it's just an easy character for him to come in on set. Stoic, very serious. But I have to say, even The Rock, even the movies with The Rock, I think are kind of boring, are not that good. The Rock is usually a part of it. I go, you know what though? He was a lot of fun to watch. He was charming. He played the role pretty good. I had a great time watching him. These last 2 to 3 years, starting with like whenever Red Notice came out on Netflix to this,
Mm.
and he's been in about I think 4 or 5 movies between that time. It has been just draining to watch him play the same stoic character that has no edge that he usually has playing characters. Like,
Or if there is an edge, it's the most like edgiest edge, like
yeah,
Black Adam, where
yeah,
it's like it like literally in the trailer. I never saw it, but
I'm a
literally in the
bad guy.
trailer, it was like I kill people. Like he said something like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he kills people that are worse than him, though. Like that's the trade off. It's like, oh,
It's the
okay,
safest, yeah, right. It's not like Punisher where there's like,
yeah.
oh, there's some serious
It's not like
implications.
Deadpool where like, yeah, he kills bad people, but every once in a while he's like, oh shit, that guy was innocent. Like, you know, it's just like, um,
This is
but
the
like,
most Rock movie I have seen yet.
it really is. The Rock is doing nothing in this movie to help himself with his acting credentials compared to other WWE wrestlers. And I know that's not the goal of this movie, but you can't help but feel this way that when I'm seeing John Cena play a character from a comic book called Peacemaker, and he's killing it, and Dwayne Johnson can't do
There's
the same.
depth.
He
There's
can't
depth.
do.
There's acting. It's like, yeah, if you think about it, it's like even I'm annoyed with so many superhero things these days, right? And but even then, Peacemaker is something like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah,
There's something with the boys, right?
there you go.
And and you there are critiques of those as well, but at least it's better than whatever the
Yeah,
hell this is.
and,
This
and,
is
and
just a CGI vomit fest. Oh my god.
it is, and like I was saying too. I mean, like you have people like um you have people like Dave Batista, who has been killing it in Hollywood, and he's been
Yeah.
playing roles that are just nothing that we've seen him do. We all, people just thought like, oh, he's gonna get typecasted as Drax. Bullshit. The guy has broken away from Drax, even coming back and playing Drax only 2 years ago. No, wait, last year, 2023. And like, it's just like, hey, look, this man has range. John Cena has range. The Rock has not. I'm going to say this. He has not shown his range yet because he has the A24 movie coming out next year, directed by Benny Safdie, and he has and I know we just got to talking
Where
crap
he's
about
he's like the king of Hawaii,
yeah,
right?
yeah, directed by Robert Zemeckis. So it's like he has hope down the line. But these last 5 years, it's been the same product we've been getting with him, just with a different color over it. Well,
And look,
yes.
with Batista and Cena, every now and then they got to make some money. So you know what? Sure, I didn't see that Dave Batista
Oh, My
assassin movie
Spy. Yeah.
or whatever, or no, not even that one. This is a more recent one. I Spies, whatever. Look, I
Oh, the
understand you
one
got
where
to
he
make
has
some money
cancer.
sometimes, right?
Okay.
I don't know, but it's like you got to make some money. That's fine. You can't, you all, not everyone can be Daniel Day Lewis. In fact, that is the exception, not the norm. Where it's like every movie is a hit, right? Where every movie is a critical, darling.
Yeah.
But with The Rock, he is consistently just cashing checks,
Yeah. That
right? You're telling me, I remember you telling me Jumanji was where The Rock had some kind of range, had
yes.
some showcasing of acting because he had to play someone different.
Yeah.
He was a character playing another character.
Yeah. Both Jumanji films, because in the first Jumanji film, he plays the nerdy kid in the group that gets sucked into the video game, and in the second film, he plays he plays Danny DeVito. He plays a cocky Danny DeVito too, and honestly, it's a fun role. You actually see him like show his comedic chops, and you see why he did so many comedic films with Kevin Hart while you're watching these movies, and it's like, oh, okay, like I get it. But lately, this is the products that we've been getting from him. And I call it a product because that's what it is. This movie is also, there's no originality to it. Everything this movie has that tries to be like, oh, look what we're doing, is stealing it from another film. The whole Task Force thing and everything, it's bare bones. It's just Men in Black. It's just Hellboy. The devices and gadgets they have in this movie, it's Ant-Man. It's literally just the Ant-Man stuff. It's the quantum physics and whatnot that you've seen in the Ant-Man films.
It's
Um,
so it's so incredible because it's like there's no inventiveness to it. It's just it's such a leap of logic. I
yeah.
mean, granted, look, we're talking about the Santa Claus mythos here, right? So how much are we really
And
doing?
that's the other thing too. You're
But that's
dealing
the
with
thing. That's
that.
their floor. That's already a high floor. So
Yeah.
I don't know. You keep it grounded. I don't. So okay, let's compare it to. And I'm sorry to diverge, but let's
No,
compare
go
it
ahead.
to Violent Night. Say what
That's
you
a,
will
yeah.
about that movie, and I was like kind of okay with that movie, but the scene where what's the name of Santa Claus in that movie? Stranger Things.
David Harbour.
David Harbour. There was a scene where David Harbour, I think he's like trapped with all these like mercenaries around his shed, and
Yes.
he's like, I need to find something to fight with. Oh, I think it was like a crowbar or some shit. I'll say a crowbar, sure. And then it like cuts to the this is the best scene in the movie where the soldiers are like going tactically like going up to the shed, and then it cuts to David Harbour with like operatic choirs going like oh, and he's like doing fucking like flips
Yeah.
with the crowbar getting ready to like mess him up.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, there is something there that makes this super campy and actually really fun.
Yeah.
And I think I still gave it like a 2 out of 4 star, at least in my head. I don't know if I don't think I think I
I
skipped that
think
review with you guys.
no. I think that's what you gave it. I think you were there that
Yeah,
night. I don't
something
know.
like that.
But
But still, that was something. There was something there. Red One, what does it have?
it's got nothing. There's nothing in this movie that I went, wow, you did something. Well, okay, there's one thing, and it was the one positive I was
Okay,
going to give this movie. Um, I do think, but then, like, there's another thing to it. I
just
do
go for it.
think
Yeah.
everybody in this movie, I think this is the worst Dwayne Johnson performance. I think Lucy Liu is just phoning it in.
Yes.
J.K. Simmons is literally sleeping through this. Um,
But at least he's having fun with it.
but at least he's having fun with it. I think Chris Evans, whenever he has to deliver a line, but not work off the chemistry of The Rock, he's
Hmm.
actually decent in this movie. He's
Yeah.
actually probably the best part of this movie is not Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, and
Yes.
also the guy that plays Krampus, Christopher Hugev. If you watch Game of Thrones,
Krampus or Krampus? I don't know.
Krampus,
Either way,
sorry, whichever
I
way,
don't know.
yeah. Tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
The guy, if you watch Game of Thrones, he's the red beard guy. He talks about the big woman, Sir
Oh, okay.
Gwendolyn, like, he talks about her. It's that guy. Those two, I felt like at least with the Krampus stuff, like that character, that actor was bringing something to that character. It was like, wow, there's actually something here. Can we explore this? But no, they just surface level. And even Chris Evans as the character Jack O'Malley. I've been loving Chris Evans playing an asshole. It's my favorite
Mhm.
part of him not being Captain America anymore.
That's why he was Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
That's why he was the jock in so many movies,
Yeah.
including
I
a parody about jocks, right? About like high schools.
not another teen
And
movie.
yeah, I'm like, I'm seeing a lot of pre Captain America Chris Evans here, and it's
Yeah.
really fun. Lucas Lee from Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
Dude is kind of born to play an asshole. If anything, Captain
But
America, which he will forever be known as, and deservedly so, if he wants to be, but Captain America, that was him playing against his type.
yeah. Which honestly made that performance so much better because it was like everybody
Yeah.
was like I remember when he got casted, I went, they're gonna fuck up the Marvel movies. I was
Oh,
like, nope,
really?
never mind. Never. Yeah, this is when I was really nerdy about this stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
compared. Oh, what difference? But like he's at least like he's bringing something here. Like it's not his Knives Out performance where it's like that was like I think like the pinnacle of him being a jagoff in movies and everything. But it's something. It's like God, he's so good at doing this and so much fun. But in terms of him having to work off The Rock, there's nothing there. Their chemistry is so bad with one another. It's almost like Jesus Christ, how'd you guys even like stay on set together at this point? Because it's just like no one in the room went, guys, this is just not working. Like
There
we
was no
got
screen test.
we,
There
we,
could
we
not have been a screen test with these two.
I know this would have been repetitive and we would have all rolled our eyes at the casting of this. But if this was Kevin Hart, at least then I could be like, well, at least the chemistry was better. It's like, yeah, it's another Kevin Hart Dwayne Johnson adventure, but it's like, dude, there's nothing here. All it's doing is it's just slowing down the movie with a over 2 hour runtime already, and it's just like Jesus Christ, it's like how much longer are we gonna make this movie? We have to like have all these plot. Also, that's the other thing. There's so many fucking plot lines in this
This
movie.
this is this dude. There was a point where I'm like, this is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny all over again, where it is
Yep.
just back to back to back chase scenes
Yeah.
or action scenes,
Yep.
and there's hardly any time to really breathe. It probably doesn't help that the times where they are breathing or trying to breathe, there's really nothing there. That's the thing, right? That is definitely it. But to me, the highlights really are just the action scenes, which sounds conventional, but honestly, many times the scenes where there's no action can be the highlight of a great movie. But that's absolutely not the case here. And it's God. I don't know if we want to get into like the technical aspect of how tight some of these CGI shots are. I was like, damn, am I going blind or like this is just a blurry mess? I don't know what's going on here.
One, I don't know if the boom went up on your mic, but you definitely went up a few levels there. Nothing too bad, but definitely like might want to check on that. But two, I agree with you. Okay, so I said like this movie like it doesn't have any identity of its own, and one of the things it steals from is the Ant-Man movies. You probably saw in the trailers where he shrinks a car and he enlarges a car and the car becomes real and whatnot. But there's also parts where Dwayne Johnson shrinks himself down. It does not look right. It does not look right at all. There's something about it that looks real off. It's not Ant-Man size. Like he's not as small as this Luigi. It's like it's literally like the 5'4" like Wolverine that we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine. Like it's like he's just short. But it's not like they made fun of it in that movie because of how weird it looks to have like a big tough guy all muscled up being that short in live action. When you see The Rock do it, The Rock's a huge dude. It's just like this. No, this doesn't work. It just looks weird, and he does it like 3 times throughout the movie. Every time he did it, the CGI one looks real bad, and just the the motion capture on his face is just not there either. But there's other parts too where I mean like this movie is heavily CG like Dom is saying. There's chase scenes. It looks like a video game. It looks like what I said when we reviewed Argyle. It looks like I'm playing a video game here. None of it looks real. And it was the same issue I had with Dial of Destiny and its action scenes is that there's so many action scenes in this movie, yes, but none of them are thrilling because A, I haven't gotten a clue of what the hell is actually going on here. B, none of these characters are actually getting developed. But here's the most important thing. There's no real like there's no tension to these action scenes because they all look fake. It all feels fake. Like, with Indiana Jones before Dial of Destiny, there's actual stunt work there and everything. They do a great job blending in the CG with it, but there's actual stunt work happening there. It's like, oh wow, this is real. It's all practical. With this, when it's CGI the whole time, anytime you get to the next fight scene, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, do we really need another one of these? Can we just wrap this thing up?
The writer of this movie is Chris Morgan, and this is one of the main Fast and Furious writers.
Oh God, well there you go. I mean, I love my Fast and Furious movies, but look, man, I mean they are that to the T. It's just to me, it's like they wear it on their sleeve. They know they're trash. This movie is acting like it's better than that.
Since Tokyo Drift.
Damn. I'm glad he's still getting work though.
Jake Kasdan. Jake Kasdan, the director, he did Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. That kind of makes me sad.
That's unfortunate to hear because that's a really good movie.
Yeah, like he went from that to this.
Oh, he directed Jumanji. I was gonna say he did sound familiar when you said it.
I'm neutral on that because at least The Rock was trying.
When we come back, we'll take our intermission right now. When we come back, I got like 2 more points to say. And honestly, I think we can wrap this show up. It is probably going to be a shorter show than usual, everyone. But there really isn't much to say here when it comes to Red 1. So stick around. We'll be right back to wrap up this review of Red 1 right here on Sleepless with Steve.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Stuff. Been enjoying hearing about your softball pursuits.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Gang's all here today. We're ready to talk Will and Harper, a brand new documentary that is currently streaming on Netflix, was released in the middle of September. This was kind of a festival darling over at the Sundance Film Festival when it premiered back in January before being acquired for Netflix. Also had a very limited theatrical release. The movie was directed by Josh Greenbaum, That name sounds familiar. He's been pretty prolific over the last couple of years, too. He directed Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, and he also last year directed Strays, which Will Ferrell was also a part of, loaned his voice to that one about the stray dog comedy. So Greenbaum's been pretty active. This is his third documentary. He did one on James Bond and one on the Dana Carvey show. So he has been pretty prolific and just pretty well-rounded, I would say, for his career. This movie has a very compelling premise right from the jump. Essentially, the movie revolves around Will Ferrell and his friend Harper Steele. Harper was born Andrew Steele and was a writer on Saturday Night Live from about 96 to 2008. So Will Ferrell describes the relationship he had at the time with Andrew, working on SNL, how Will Ferrell was kind of a little bit of an outcast on SNL, but Andrew would write different things for him. Well, eventually, time passes, and shortly into the documentary, Will Ferrell gets a letter from now Harper Steele saying that she has transitioned into being a woman. She's now transgender, come out of the closet, and is now living life as a transgender woman. So Will Ferrell decides not only to go back and reconnect with her because they haven't seen each other in a long time, but also take a 17-ish day road trip across the United States. And this is really the road trip aspect of this movie is really because Harper Steele, to quote Charles Bukowski, kind of lives like the laureate of American lowlife. Loves going to dive bars, loves like seedy, like greasy spoon restaurants, things like that. Just like quintessentially broad shoulder activities, like not only dive bars, but also like going to basketball games and sporting events and things like that. Racing as well, dirt track racing too. So it's essentially seeing as if she can still go to these places and find herself accepted as a transgender woman. That's the crux of Will and Harper. This is a very sweetly made movie. I'll say that much. Its intentions are very good. I think it's a compelling watch. One of the things that really stuck out to me first and foremost, here's the thing. They're not going to like Chicago. They're not going to like Houston. They're not going to these big areas. They're actually going to a lot of like small to medium-sized conservative towns, which I'm not going to lie. And there's a good stretch of this movie that's set in the Midwest. I'm not going to lie. There's some really like, I love how ugly some of the B-roll was.
Here we go. Back and Steveless than never. Oh, fuck, I fucked that pun up. Never mind. Back and better than ever. We're Sleepless with Steve without Steve tonight once again. He'll be back eventually, but unfortunately the week he'll be back, I'll be gone. But we're back here talking about Red One. Nothing really positive to say about this movie. Man, I gotta say, this is probably one of the most like down and dreary reviews we've had on the show. Yeah,
like it really doesn't have a soul.
It doesn't. Like, and the weirdest part is, Dom, is I left this movie going, all right, that was about 2 out of 4 stars. Like I was like, that's 2 out of 4 stars.
But the more you think about it,
the more it's sad to me, the more I'm like, what? I really thought about it. I'm like, what else did I give 2 stars this year? I'm like, Leave Frankenstein. I'm like, that's a way better movie than this.
I'd watch that twice over Red One.
I would watch that. Like, I would watch that for Halloween because I'm like, it has a good Halloween flair to it. Hold on, I wrote the list down. I meant to bring this up as a point actually. I'm glad I'm remembering now. These are the reviews that I gave 2 stars on Sleepless. Fly Me to the Moon, which honestly I'd rather watch that over this.
Yes.
Maxine. Honestly, I'd rather watch this over that because I get a good performance out of its lead in that movie, honestly. The movie did fuck all with its plot and everything, but at least I got a good performance out of it, and from other people as well. Drive Away Dolls. I wasn't crazy about the movie, but like, it's
like a 2.5 out of 4 star at least.
Yeah, it's a zany movie to me. Like, Beetlejuice. Like, yeah. It's like, I thought about all the other movies. I gave 2 out of 4 stars this year so far in the show. And every time I said, I would watch that over Red One. I would easily watch that over Red One. And then I thought the 1-star reviews that I did. And there were some that I was like, you know what? I would watch that over Red One. And that's how I knew. I'm like, this actually might not. And I probably gave away my star rating there, but you'll have to wait and see what I officially give it. that's how I knew. I'm like, damn, this movie is worse than I thought. Because I really tried to write down the pros, and it was just those two things I wrote down that really stood out to me. Is that I love Chris Evans' performance in this because he gets to act like a complete a-hole, which he's great at, and the guy that played Krampus, he's owning it. He's honestly like almost like a different movie with how good he's playing it. It's just like, holy shit, can I get this movie?
Yeah,
Where,
that'd
like,
be sick. Dude,
there's like
imagine
this
it was all
brotherly
focused on Krampus. Yeah.
there's like this brotherly divide between him and Santa Claus, played by A.K. Simmons.
That's a
just
good
like,
dynamic.
that would be a great dynamic. That should be your Amazon holiday movie, honestly. Two brothers that got torn apart. You can tie that into like some theme messaging about coming together for the holidays. Instead, you have whatever the hell this is. Anyways.
They're really, yeah, like I said, all those movies you listed, there is something there. There is a soul to those movies.
There's
however
at least
flawed
vision.
the final product is. Yeah.
There's at least a vision. Like, even with Maxine, I said there's so much going on in that movie. It really doesn't know what it wants to do. But at the end of the day, I looked at it and I said, but it was still Ty West's vision. There was no doubt about that. Same with Lisa Frankenstein. That's Zelda Williams' vision from beginning to end. And like all the other movies, Tim Burton. I don't. You don't have to say anything. Beetlejuice.
Don't have to say
is
anything, right?
Yeah, it's literally like a wet dream of fucking Tim Burton movies in that movie.
You feel like the vacuum of the vacuum of where the soul should be in this movie. You feel that. You feel it when you're watching this. I can think of so many Marvel movies made after Endgame that I would rather watch than this. And that's an insult. Like, I want to be clear about that, guys. This and look, we're not haters. We're not haters for hating.
I'm not really trying to. Like, I hate when I walk away from a movie like this.
And I'm not saying there should be some grand anti-capitalistic message here or some shit like that. No, this is not that movie. It could be, maybe it could be, but it's clearly not, and that's fine.
And you know the worst part is the movie tried doing that at the start
Did
and
it?
at the end. Yeah, with the whole thing of The Rock being annoyed at how people are like, because like people are fighting over gifts at the beginning of the movie.
I know.
There's the woman. There's that run-on joke with essential oils and everything.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a funny.
But that was
joke,
clearly like the writer just heard that somewhere, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a quick jab at my Aunt Sally who thinks that working at Lululemon is a good idea. Yeah, I don't know.
But it like, no, you're right. Like, this isn't that kind of movie. Like, it wasn't trying to take a stance on anything. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing they wanted to be just a fun blockbuster. But
this is what a board of directors or an venture, or investment, whomever, thinks this is what makes a good movie. Yeah. This is what those people think makes a good Fast and Furious movie, and they don't even understand that.
This to me, I mean, I hate to say it, but this is like almost like, what an AI would dread. Because you really unpeel every scene and like what they introduce and what they talk about in each scene, and it's like, I literally sat there and I thought to myself, I'm like, no, like I know there's a writer attached to this and everything, and he wrote, like we said, the Dewey Knox story and everything. But it really felt like an AI wrote the fucking movie. I was just
and we're not even accusing that seriously. This, I mean, I can absolutely see this being no AI was involved, because this it definitely just feels like that. I hope we've been going on this rant for about like 10 minutes now since we've gotten back. I hope we've provided enough ample evidence as to why. Because here's some technical aspects. How tight were some of those shots? I alluded to this earlier.
Yes.
How tight were some of those shots during like hanging onto the sled or like fight scenes? How tight were those shots? I'm talking like here. And I'm like, I can't see anything, dude. There's no lighting here. It's all like color corrected a blue gray that I really don't like. And I can't see The Rock's face.
The only time they didn't do that was the final action scene, because it's at night, so you can get away with a lot of the CG not looking really that good. But yeah, during that daytime scene, we're fighting the abominable snowman. It's like, oh man, like I can't tell what's going on. I can't tell what's going on. The cantina scene, basically, that they ripped from Star Wars with Krampus's castle. Like, it's just like, oh man,
it's a shame too, because there's so many parts of this that do look I mean, it all looks expensive, but rather like the
The
Krampus scenes.
the practical makeup in that scene for Krampus looks really good.
It's crazy. It's like that was. It's like the assistant director of those scenes was like, "I'm gonna actually try here."
The intern that walked in and went, "God damn it, I'm making a name for myself."
Yeah, because like nothing else looked like that.
No,
Nothing else looked like that.
Again, that's why I said like it feels like it's from a whole different movie because I was like sitting there, I'm like, dude, hold on, like can we get a movie like this, like a gothic looking like Christmas movie with these characters? I'm like, this would be cool.
Yeah, the North Pole scenes look like they were ripped out of Tim Allen's the Santa Claus 4 or something, right? And like the beach scenes were just floaty as hell. Although I guess I could actually see what was going on because it was daytime. Yeah, dude.
That should be the
all
quote
these
on the
symptoms.
poster. Yeah.
I think Chris Evans is really the only one really putting something into it.
Yeah.
And even when I'm saying like The Rock isn't putting anything into it, what I'm saying is that I know he's trying. He's trying by his standard of trying, but it really doesn't come across as anything interesting.
No,
I'm sorry.
It really doesn't because it's like I said at the start.
He's a Boy Scout. He's like a Boy Scout, but it's not Boy Scout. It's like it's not like
Captain America as a Boy Scout because like
right.
The way Steve Rogers is as a Boy Scout is that he has his code, he sticks to it, he's stoic, but
a man out of time.
But he has that element to him that makes him interesting. He's a man from a different time, so he has a different view from how the future Iron Man looks at things. That's what always made like kind of like their little rivalry together so interesting. But the thing that always made Steve Rogers had this edge to him. At least it was, hey, when it came time to get stuff done, he'll fight dirty. He'll say something funny. Like there was something to him. There's nothing. There's nothing here with the character that he plays called Drift. There's really not. I mean, it's
what's the point of calling him Drift? That's so stupid.
It probably sounded badass. That's why they just ran.
You know what sounds badass? Jack O'Malley.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
That sounds way more badass than Drift.
Oh man,
dude, this feels like Elon Musk wrote this movie, dude. I'm not even joking. Imagine like Elon Musk is getting high on whatever he takes, ketamine, and he's like, "Yeah, dude." So it's like The Rock and Captain America, and they go on this adventure to fight a woman.
Fight a woman.
And they save Santa Claus, and it's J.K. Simmons, but it's Jack Santa Claus. Yeah, dude. And Santa Claus is like somersaults when he's delivering presents.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That last 5 minutes, it's just like I was like, okay, I'm like wrap this shit up. Okay.
Okay. Spoiler: no one cares. The last 5 minutes is the big question of how does Santa Claus deliver all his presents? Every Santa Claus mythos movie has to answer that question. The funny thing is, it actually doesn't answer the question. Because he's still like
he seemed like the slowest out of all. Yeah. Because he's doing all these acrobatics and shit. I'm just like, dude, you're not getting this done.
They're answering like half questions where it's like, yeah, he's like doing precision halo drops into the chimney. He's doing parkour. The presents like blow up so that they save space. That doesn't answer the question of how you like visit 9 billion people's homes. That doesn't answer the question. You need some kind of magic.
That's why Violent Night did it with magic, which is like, okay, like you at least kept the mythos of Santa alive by doing that.
And they were implying the magic, I guess, where it's like where The Rock is going, no one else can do what he does. Only he can do what he does.
Yeah.
Dude, a lot of people can do somersaults, dude.
Dude, Ant-Man could do what he does. Sorry, it's ain't fucking special.
This movie feels like Call of Duty. This movie feels like Call of Duty meets edgy Twitter, but they have to sell product to like a PG audience.
That is, hey man, you at least gave it some kind of identity.
Yeah, that's my review. I'm gonna shut the hell up. This is honestly, I feel like 1 out of 4 stars is giving it way too much credit already.
Oh shit, are you really gonna do it?
I'm giving.
I don't blame you, dude.
I really felt like a hater this whole review
Yeah.
But I swear, watch this movie, and it's like, dude, what is there? What's
Yeah.
there? I would rather watch Tim Allen's The Santa Claus 3 than watch this. At least the Santa Claus 3 had a really janky ass but entertaining DVD menu game. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, you ain't getting on your game with this fucking movie.
I'm gonna give this 1 out of 4 stars, but when it
Okay.
comes to our bottom 5, I'll probably go lower. Like when I let it sit with me some more, I think it's gonna go lower.
Yeah, all right. So and this is why I'm giving it the rating I will give it, because I thought to myself, would I watch this over Borderlands? Yes, I would. I would watch this.
You would watch this over Borderlands.
I would watch, yeah, because
that's a good question.
Yeah, because Borderlands pissed me, and that was one of the few reviews so far in Sleepless's whole catalog that I've given a half star, because it really pissed me off. Because that to me was an insult to not only the audience but the fans as well. And the fact again, you had the creators of that game working on it and everything. It was just kind of like you really didn't
there was a ball to drop.
Yeah.
It was a ball to drop.
They dropped that ball hard. This, I went into it thinking it might be okay at best. Maybe it'll surprise me. What I walked away with was, okay, I mean, I'm not really surprised it was this bad. But Jesus Christ, the more I think about it, it gets worse and worse by the second. For me, this is a continuation of everything we've been seeing from his production company. $7 Production puts out all these products that are advertiser friendly for all these people to go see, so they can rake in money, and that way people who are advertising through the movie, whether it is through what the hell is that called, product placement, or they're doing something like Mutual Liberty Insurance, like did the ads with the Ghostbusters and everything. Like, they're doing stuff like that. Or Heineken with Deadpool. Like, they're doing stuff with this. And it's like Amazon does ad. Well, I mean, Amazon produced the movie, so I guess that doesn't count. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's making money in those sort of ways with its marketing and everything and whatnot. And, product placement. $7 Productions has been doing that the whole time. But this movie ain't even worth a cent of your fucking time. It is honestly one of the worst movies of this year. It makes me go back. It makes me go back and look at what we said about Here, and it's like, look, Here, I don't like that movie, and to me that is probably going to still be on my worst of list in some capacity. But I did say it will probably be in my bottom 5. This movie was a slap in the face to make me go, look, I didn't like that, but that at least was trying. That at least was trying to do something that it will not be in my bottom 5. Maybe it'll show up in my bottom 10 or whatever, or dishonorable mentions. Red One definitely will be in my bottom 5 by the end of the year. It is 1 out of 4 stars for me as well. Yeah. I don't know if I'll go a half star. I totally get Dom's whole thing. If this pissed me off like Borderlands did, I could totally see that. But it didn't make me angry like that. Like, cause like again, I didn't have, I guess going in, I just wasn't thinking anything of it. Leaving, it was just kind of, I mean, like, am I really surprised? It's another movie from The Rock that's just generic.
Yeah,
but I've had
that's actually the funny thing, is that because he's so consistent with his movies, it's like
the rating is consistent.
Yeah, I was like, I'm blunted now. I can't even be angry at it anymore.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because Red Notice pissed me off, because I was like, you gotta be kidding me! Like, this is actually like what you did with this much money and everything. But then like I see this and it's like, okay, it's been 3 years of this. I'm kind of used to this now. It's been 5 movies at this point, 3 years. Yeah, this is The Rock, and you know what? Whatever. If this is what he wants to do, fine. So, hey, honestly, I hope for the best. I hope he turns his career around, because everybody's been that Hollywood Reporter article about him didn't help his career. 2, the movie's box office right now with this and Black Adam failing hard is not helping his career. And it's like, I hope he turns it around with the next set of movies he's got coming out with Robert Zemeckis and Benny Safdie. I hope those movies are good, because I would like to see, A, a good movie, but B, I would like to see The Rock actually be in something good, because I've seen him be good in stuff, and I find him enjoyable. But, yeah, 1 out of 4 stars for me. Dom, you got anything else to add on? I know you gave your star rating, but is there anything else?
No, all I'm saying is that I apologize to Steve for all the F-bombs we dropped.
Yeah, we dropped a lot tonight.
And Joe and I were like, during the break, Joe and I were like, "Hey, we should like tone down on it." And then Joe comes in swinging with like 5 of them in the second half.
I really did. Yeah, I just it just came in. Yeah, we gotta cut back. It's getting closer to the holidays. We gotta cut back on that. That was not cool. We gotta be advertiser friendly like The Rock.
Exactly.
But that's
No,
gonna
happy
be...
birthday, dude. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Thank you. Yeah. That's gonna be about it for both of us here on Sleepless with Steve. Like I said again, if you weren't here at the start of the show, let me pull it up real quick just to confirm what we will be having on the schedule. But we will not be here next week because we're going to be enjoying Turkey Day. We're going to be going to our families and everything, enjoying that holiday. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are viewing this at home or viewing it later on YouTube. But we'll be back, or at least Tom will. Tom will be the only consistent person on the show for the time being. Dom and Steve will be back on December 4th to review Wicked, and all 3 of us should be back finally on December 11th to review Gladiator 2. But like I said, no show next week. You can expect to see the 2 big movies to be reviewed in the next few weeks. But until then, definitely check out our YouTube channel, check out our highlights, follow us on social media, and we'll see you next time right here, 6:30 to 7:30 Central Standard Time on YouTube. This is Sleepless with Steve.